President Donald Trump made good on a promise to allow religious organizations greater freedom in political speech. He signed the Religious Liberty Executive Order. But what exactly does it say and mean?
San Diego State University business ethics lecturer and attorney Wendy Patrick joining us on the KOGO News Live line. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. So what does this Religious Liberty Executive Order allow and not allow?
Well, unfortunately, it really appeals to something that's written in the tax code. So it would require an act of Congress to repeal the Johnson Amendment, which basically says that religious organizations, charitable organizations, cannot engage in political activity or they risk losing their tax-exempt status. So, Donald Trump campaigned on this issue. It is a very important issue for him and for evangelicals, but many people think it just didn't go far enough to basically say what he did. And let me give you the quote, Ted and LaDonna. Remember, he said he was going to completely destroy the Johnson Amendment. Well, this may be a step in the right direction, but he said that the IRS should, quote, exercise maximum enforcement discretion of the prohibition. So you tell me what that means.
Discretion. That's
Right.
That's a loaded word.
Oh, it is. That word discretion, here, it doesn't give a lot of solace for people that are worried, for evangelicals, faith leaders, charitable organizations that are worried that, it's true the IRS doesn't, it spend most of its time going after what people say in church from the pulpit. But there are many that worry they don't want to be the test case. They don't want to run the risk that they will be the group that the IRS goes after. Now, I got to also tell you that this is something that is lauded by many because it gives faith a voice, if in fact it could eventually lead to the Johnson Amendment being repealed. There are others who believe that a place of worship should be a spiritual haven, not a political forum. So there are two dueling narratives regarding this very controversial bill. And I got to tell you, we have not seen the end of action that I think is going to take place on this bill just because it is so important.
So now here's what some are afraid of, that it could lead to discrimination against the LGBTQ community. Could that happen?
Well, you're talking about now the provision where he basically said, and this again is equally vague. In that same Rose Garden ceremony yesterday with religious leaders, he also said that this executive order offers unspecified, quote, regulatory relief for religious objectors to the Obama administration mandate. So no one is really sure where the teeth are in that recommendation. I use the word recommendation. It's an executive order, but it doesn't have the force of Congress behind it. So it didn't really change anything as a practical matter. Many people think it's a great step in the right direction. But again, as with any executive order or law, people worry, going to your question, people worry that a law that is designed to protect religious liberty might be misused to promote discrimination. That's always going to be a danger.
All right. Wendy Patrick, San Diego State University business ethics lecturer and attorney, taking a look at this executive order, the Religious Liberty Executive Order. What happens to it next? Just out of curiosity. I mean, does it just become law or does Congress have to weigh in on this?
Well, Congress would have to change this. They would have to change the law. The Johnson Amendment is in the tax code, so Congress would have to repeal it. However, behind the scenes, lawmakers have been looking at this issue for so many years. This amendment is 60 years old. It's from 1954, and over the years, lawmakers have been seeking to repeal and replace. Boy, that's the buzzword of the day, right? But so far, there hasn't been anywhere near a consensus as to what a new law would look like. So they got to have something to replace it with. It's probably a long time coming.
All right, Wendy Patrick, thank you so much for joining us. Always